Hello YouTube viewers, welcome to my channel Science to Technology. In today's show, Camera Tuesday, we're gonna talk about HOLLYLAND LARK 150. So let's dive right into it. Now first, what exactly we are talking about? Basically, we are talking about quote-unquote alternate to Rode wireless Go, so something like that. Now this puppy, the unique selling point of this boy is basically it has dual system, basically stereo system. So you can have one independent microphone and another independent microphone, both going into left and right channel of the audio track. So that's the whole point. Now this is kind of aimed for amateur and low budget kind of scenario. It's not aimed for like absolute professional, like where you have to have like highest quality possible, but it's more than good enough. So be very mindful when I'm saying it's like a targeted for low budget, does not mean this is a low budget equipment. Like this is sort of equipment that punches way above its weight. So think of it this way: if you have your primary equipment that is like super expensive, like very reliable and awesome, but for some reason it breaks or like some malfunction happens, you can utilize this as a backup. So it is low budget, quote unquote $200 plus, but it is not quote unquote cheap. So it's really good. Now what does you get if you pay the money? You get two transmitters, aka two independent microphone and transmission unit, on which you can either utilize lavalier microphone or the unit itself. It also has an inbuilt system, one receiver, so you can basically get a stereo system, and it has a case. Now case is a charging unit, so it's a kind of important, like it's not just a placeholder, it's important. Now stereo audio is the kind of a unique selling point for this, simply because all microphones, even as a low tier video recorder, like for example Sony A6100 also has microphone input. It's also stereo, like my very old Canon 800D, it also has a microphone input. It's also basically quote unquote stereo system. So why the heck do not utilize two independent audio systems? So that's the whole point, that's the selling point of this puppy. Now two mics for each channel, but here's the deal. What if you are not utilizing both of them? Sometimes you can utilize in unique ways. For example, if I were to do it, I would literally have a basically background track playing in one channel, another channel I will like have my main voice, and I will mix it in post-production, or I could even have like dual mono, so to say. So I could do that. Another aspect is, which is more practical for like single person like me, it's very simple. I can have one microphone and the second audio track would be a safety track. Now this is very critical for 24-bit, simply because 24-bit is very awesome if you're recording in kind of high rich environment. Basically, if you take your decibel scale from 0 to -12, that is like a sweet spot for 24-bit. Now that's like good, really good. Like -18 starts to become very kind of tinny. Like you can boost the audio up, but it will not sound right, quote unquote. So you want the audio to be that high, but here's the problem: it's already very close to clipping. Now what happens if it clips? Again, the audio distorts. No problem with this puppy. You have a safety track that could be -6 or -12. So that means even if you're pushing your audio recording on the quote unquote hot side, it still has a backup that is quote unquote cold. So in a single person environment, that alone for many people is like shut up and take my money. That alone is like shut up and take my money. For other people who do like a interview kind of scenario, shut up and take my money just for that system. So that's the whole thing, and it is utilizing 2.5 gigahertz digital wireless. Now you have to understand this aspect very thoroughly. Doing wireless system, it's no laughing matter. It's like a complicated technology. However, HOLLYLAND has the luxury of the fact that they have been working in cinema industry for long enough. That's first. Second, they make wireless video transmission that can do full HD transmission. Now if a company can handle full HD wireless transmission, the audio transmission, even a 32-bit, which it does not do, it only does 24-bit. It's like bro, please. So it has some amazing technology. For example, it has the ability to jump between channels 8,000 times a second. So basically it detects audio interference, basically interference in the radio spectrum. It's like nope, it goes to another. It detects interference is shifting, sometimes it happens. It's like okay, I'm gonna jump, and it happens 8,000 times a second. So you don't have to think about it. Like this puppy in every testing, it's kind of outcompeting Rode in terms of wireless signal reliability. Again, because the company is like much more beefier, like they have much more oomph behind their R&D department, so they are utilizing that. Now, what are the benefits of if you buy this system? Well, think of it this way: engineering has one of very critical rules. You do it first or you do it better. So they learned from all the other microphone manufacturers, specifically Rode Go. So they learned a lot. So what they are doing, they are giving you the same luxurious option. For example, this itself is a complete unit with microphone and transmission, and basically wind muff. Now wind muff was like a serious point of complaint with everybody who was using Rode Go, simply because it was not clipping properly. They realized if you want to put a wind muff, that means you want to utilize the internal microphone. Okay, that makes sense. That means the microphone jack is unused. So somebody's like, dude, use the jack as an anchor point. That's much more reliable and stable. So wind muff awesome. So that's like, somebody actually sat down and is like, dude, that's a problem, let's fix it. So that's awesome. And if you want to do basically your own lavalier microphone, you may be like, why the heck I want to use that? Think of it this way. You don't want your talent to have like a giant black box here. That can be done. And in some scenario, for example, Adam Savage has a like very advanced, ludicrously expensive microphone that goes in his glasses. Yes, the microphone is that tiny. It's like a rice grain size microphone, and it's in your glasses. But you can think of it, the distance is so close. It's like barely 2 inches. So it's awesome. The audio quality is awesome, but nobody even sees it. It's like, wow, how the heck is doing stage show without anybody seeing, like, giant cables and all that jazz, because he's utilizing glasses. And this puppy has the ability to receive audio from basically 3.5 mm jack. So you can be like, okay, no problem, you can utilize your own lavalier. So that allows it, like, more flexibility. Then all of these, you are talking about 3 equipments. How the heck you gonna charge it? Like, are you gonna have like 3 USB-C cable, which one company did try to that? It's like they have one A USB and then they have 3 company. Again, very tedious. They are like, okay, we're gonna utilize the learnings we got from wireless earpods right at this point in time. Earpods are like simple thing. They are too small to have their own charging port, so you put them in a cradle takes care of the rest. Is the same thing. This is a cradle, charging cradle. So you put everything here. The moment it detects it, the moment it closes the lid, it has magnets and all that magic. It's like, okay, I got this, I'm gonna charge it. And it has internal battery, so you can literally have this somewhere plugged into a charger system, constantly topping it up, and with the moment you plug things in, it's like, okay, I'm gonna top the main puppy up. So kind of awesome utilization. And one thing Rode had like as a serious complaint is like, dude, you can't do level control. Now the level was like, low, medium, high. That's not good enough nowadays. So people are like, okay, we'll give you knobs, fine-tuned controllable knobs. So that's awesome. So if you think of it this way, you're doing an interview and some person is speaking much louder or much quieter than the other, you can literally live mix right there. And it also has a headphone out. So if you are utilizing a camera that does not have a headphone output port, which surprisingly large number of them does not, this has real-time headphone output, so you can do live monitoring. Awesome. So all these things combined make it much more user friendly. It's like, okay, I'm gonna use it and utilize it. And then it also has two-way mute. Now you may be like, why the heck I want to mute it? Think of it this way: 2 person are talking and you are suddenly noticing that one person is getting agitated and he's gonna curse out a bonkers amount of things. You're like, okay, mute, let's not contaminate my main audio recording. Or sometimes, let's say the talent is like, hey, I need to go out and, like, pee or something like that. We can mute the audio on his end and it's like, okay, go out and, like, release your bowels, so to say, without, like, having audio of that bowel movement, so to say. So that's very important. These are little things, but it makes your life much easier as a single person taking care of a lot of things. That's awesome. And all those things are like, charging cradle, wind muff. Like, this is basically somebody looked at Rode Go. It's like, okay, it's awesome, let's make it even better. So that's the whole point, the pros of this. Now, is everything rosy? Well, no, it does have a severe con. Like, for many people, the moment they realize this con, they're like, I'm not touching this. It's simply because they went for smallest body. They wanted this as a tagline. It's like, it's genuinely 20% smaller than Rode. And Rode itself is kind of small. But problem is, if you make small, due to volumetric efficiencies, the battery is ludicrously tiny. Consequence, the charge time is 3 hours. Like, again, it's they are quoting 4, but most people are saying like 3 hours 30 minutes is like best case scenario. So 3 hours, like, let's say you want like your shoot to be inside 3 hours. Now, for more than enough scenarios, especially for movie and all that, that's good enough. But for interviews, it has a tendency to, like, can sometimes drag on for a long time. So that may be, like, again, if your interview rarely stretches to 2 hours, this is like more than good enough. You're gonna buy this, you're gonna enjoy this, you're gonna have good time. But if you're in a scenario is like, dude, I need at least 4 or 6 hours, this may not cut it. And it does not have a port, so to say, so you cannot plug in a USB-C charger and charge it while it's running. That's also a very serious limitation, and that limitation is because it has cradle kind of system. They are expecting you to have the charging cradle, so that is kind of a very big issue, especially because the battery is small. If the battery was big, it's like, who cares? But the battery is a weak point at this point in time. So that's the whole thing. Another aspect, even if you are doing, let's say, indie movie kind of shoot, and you're like, dude, single scenes barely stretch out for 15 minutes. Like, that 3 hour is more than enough. Awesome. It does not have headphone, basically microphone locking port, which is a very weird thing, because that was also another very big complaint from every other manufacturer, like, dude, who wanted to utilize the Rode system. It's like, dude, it does not have locking pin. And if you are talking about something wireless, something that has a long cable, it has a tendency to pull out. That's why from Sennheiser, from like freaking 1990s, they are utilizing that, having locking ports. And Tascam started to make a dedicated tiny recorder locking ports. Zoom f2, awesome thing, awesome recorder, locking port. Why the heck this does not have locking ports? It's like, it does not make sense. It has to have threaded quote unquote female adapter. It's like, really, like that was one things that will kind of make it very difficult to recommend for people who do a lot of run and gun kind of action scenario, because you will be always be worried, hey, is my cable there? Now again, you can reinforce it, tape it, duct tape it. Sometimes people do that. Again, you should not need to do that. It's like, you had the option and you had the luxury of learning. Like, people bitch about this, it's like from road go, and there is a serious reason why Tascam, Zoom, all of them are utilizing this. Sennheiser, there is a reason why they have locking cable. It's like, you learn from the mistake and you're like, okay, let's not skimp on that department. That was like missed opportunity. So there are some cons. Like, for many people, like, the moment they see the battery life, like, no thank you. For other people, dude, I do a lot of run and gun and I need absolute certainty that's gonna work. Basically, does that mean like your cable will not break if you have a lavalier that is plugged in? No, it just gives you one extra peace of mind, which this puppy is missing. So cons wise, like, that second con is really annoying. The first con I understand they wanted to, but again, they should have had a kind of magnetic cable for this puppy, so you can charge it while utilizing it. So you can have like a small battery bank keeping this up 5-6 hours or something like that. So there is a, like, you know, still bit room, quote unquote, room to grow, so to say. So this was my presentation on Lark 150. I hope you liked it, learned from it. In that case, please click the like button, share it amongst your friends. That will help me a lot. If you didn't like it, didn't enjoy it, I urge you to press dislike, press it twice to show me extra disappointment. Please leave a comment because I try to reply to all of them. Subscribe, press the bell icon if you're free, and as always, thanks for watching.